Welcome to This Week in East Brunswick. Today we celebrate Senior Day with the East Brunswick High School girls volleyball team, as the senior players and managers were recognized before a home match against the Perth Amboy Raiders. Then we visit the East Brunswick Historical Society, where a presentation was held on the golden age of advertising, specifically looking at jingles from the 1950s and 60s. Local photographer Bill Blanchard held an introduction to digital photography class at the library, and we'll talk with him about some of his work. Then we have information about the East Brunswick Youth Council, and Patrolman Craig Hoover talks about some of the new initiatives that the East Brunswick Police Department has implemented this year in the Street Smart segment. All this, plus we have information about the upcoming library events and a special ghost tour of the Old Bridge Historic District of town that will take place each Saturday in October. So stay with us. This Week in East Brunswick starts now. The East Brunswick High School Lady Bears volleyball team recently hosted the Perth Amboy Raiders in a Greater Middlesex County Conference showdown at East Brunswick High School. Before the game, the Bears recognized the senior players and managers and their families as part of the annual Senior Day tradition. The Bears jumped out to an early lead in Game 1 and never looked back on their way to a 25-11 win before taking Game 2 and the match by a score of 25-10. The Bears were led offensively by kills leader Jordan Horowitz, as she contributed 13 kills and an ace to the Bears' victory. Samantha Balsamo led the Bears with 11 assists, while also chipping in with 2 service aces. The trio of seniors also played strong games for the Bears, as libero Beth Anania led the way defensively with 4 digs to go along with 2 assists, 1 ace, and 1 kill. Lena Abrahams came up with 3 kills and a block, while Emily Liu had 2 kills and 2 digs. Now let's meet the senior players and managers of the 2016 East Brunswick High School Lady Bears volleyball team. Beth Anania, Lena Abrahams, Emily Liu, and manager Aaron Pelletier. Congratulations to all the seniors, and best of luck this season and in your future.
Today we have a special event at the East Brunswick Historical Society House on Milltown Road. This organization is interested in preservation of history, and today we're going to do a presentation, or rather I will do the presentation on advertising from the 50s, 60s, and 70s and how it affected our lives. We're going to have videos of actual TV commercials and take a really look at not just watching it, but try to understand what the manufacturers are trying to sell us. In many cases, what they were trying to sell us was good for us. Sometimes those goods were ultimately bad for us. The bottom line is they were interested in persuading us to buy a product or a service. Now, advertising can be more than just the normal advertising you see on billboards. Quite often, government does advertising, indicating that there's relief for Sandy victims. Rabies shots are being offered by the town, and so on. So advertising takes many, many forms.
Does coffee taste better in one of those versus a drip machine? I don't know.
It tastes as good as it smells every time. Maxwell House coffee tastes as good as it smells. They gave him this assignment. What changes would you recommend in the design of the Volkswagen? He studied it and studied it. Then he said,
Ingrandire il finestrino di dietro.
make the rear window larger.
Solamente questo?
That's all?
Solo questo.
That's all. We did, starting with the 58. A Volkswagen is never changed to make it look different, only to make it work better.
Clanky chocolate syrup. I haven't either. They competed with Bosco, obviously. Chocolate syrup.
Everything is chocolate flavored.
Chocolate syrup that you add to your milk. Just like Bosco, we pour it over ice cream.
Pretty sure it went to
Spaceman!
What are they selling?
Tootsie Roll Pops.
Lollipops. A Tootsie Roll in the Santa, which I think they still sell.
Everybody's happy when you bring home the Coke. That real great taste leaves you so refreshed. Coca-Cola puts you at your sparkling best.
The East Brunswick Historical Society started in 1975. At the time, we were not so fortunate as to have this beautiful restored Smith farmhouse. However, we were functioning throughout the town, and our objective was for the preservation of East Brunswick history and naturally the history of our country as much as possible. Originally, this was an apple farm, and this was the home of the family. Alongside it, there was a large barn where people would come this time of year and get their apple cider and fresh apples, and you could see the apple orchards. As time went on, builders came in, families grew old, new generations. This was the only remaining part of the Smith family apple farm. Fortunately, it was turned over to the town, and the East Brunswick Historical Society is very fortunate to have this beautifully restored building for the purposes of serving the public. We're open on weekends. If you make a phone call, we're always open on the weekend for that purpose. We're not open every single weekend, so the best thing to do is telephone the president, Mrs. Goldsmith, at 732-249-3522. She's not there. She always calls back.
As far as how they changed our language. No industry is guiltier than this, than the real estate industry. You ever buy a house? Nobody buys a house anymore. We buy a home. This has caught on so that even in the news, when you watch the news, they don't say 4 houses burnt down. They say 4 homes burned down. So this bothered me, and I thought, you know what, what's the difference between a house and a home? So I wanted to look it up, and I found a home is a social unit, formed by people living together, whereas a house is the building. We are in a house. There is no true home, per se, in this building. So when you watch the news, houses have been washed away. Homes, they say homes were washed away. Just remember the difference. But that's basically something from real estate that started this whole thing.
Today, I just want people to walk away with an idea, more than just a casual observation of how advertising affected us. I want people to understand perhaps some of the long-term effects, not just the entertainment factor that so many of us look at commercials, but rather all the efforts that we're putting behind it to buy a specific item, whether it be a car, a drink, whatever.
Photographer Bill Blanchard recently hosted an introduction to DSLR photography class at the East Brunswick Public Library.
I'm Bill Blanchard, and today at the library I'm going to be giving a really condensed version of an introduction to digital photography. I've had my own business since 1981, and I've worked for all kinds of companies. I'm a commercial photographer, assignment photographer, and that's mainly what I do. So it's got me to meet lots of people I never would have met. It's been really interesting. I like working with people. I like the collaboration that goes on. But I like landscape because I don't have to make it smile. So that's good too. When I was 8 years old, my dad took me into the improvised darkroom in the bathroom. And when I saw the print come up in the developer, it was magic. And that was my greatest downfall. It's like from then on, I was really hooked. So when I do this program in a classroom, people sometimes are disappointed to find out that 50% of the class is software because you can't get along without it. The basic software that comes with the Mac or the PC isn't the greatest. It's okay. But something like Lightroom is very good. Photoshop is a bit too much. So I usually just recommend Lightroom to people who are starting out because the price is right, and even when you get really advanced, you still would be using it because it's just such a great product. Film is still quite viable. It's a really good, strong medium. But for the maximum creativity, the software that's available for digital photography really is a real game changer. I look for the basic fundamentals of good composition. Leading lines, rule of thirds, just things that kind of work together. There's a point with composition that after a while, if you're doing it well, if you see it and you like it, it's probably good. So that's pretty much how I work now. Oh, that looks good. Hit the button. The SLR is single lens reflex, and the D part is for digital. And what they do is the light that's coming through the lens is analyzed by the sensor and the computer running the sensor to help you get a better exposed picture, in theory. Well, iPhone just came out with the ability to shoot RAW files. They finally caught up to the Android. So that's a game changer because that allows people to take even higher quality pictures. But the bottom line right now is that the sensor on all the phones is really small. So although it shoots a big megabyte file, the quality oftentimes isn't there. You can get great pictures with an iPhone, but the lighting has to be right. The conditions have to be right, whereas with a good DSLR, you have a lot more wiggle room. If the conditions are off, you can compensate for it. With the iPhone, you're kind of stuck. But they're great. I have one. It's really, more and more in the hands of everyone, which is where it should be. Everybody should have the ability to publish, whether it's stories or pictures or video, and the more competition, the keener I have to get, but it's really a good thing. Yeah, my website is billblanchardphoto.com. My email address is bill@billblanchardphoto.com. So there's a fine art section, and there's like a portrait section, and people can get an idea of what kind of professional. The portraits I do aren't, for the most part, the usual kind of portraits. Well, I really hope that everybody comes away with something of value that, will serve them throughout the years.
October is here again, and with it comes the second annual Ghost Tour of the Old Bridge Village section of East Brunswick Township. Occurring every Saturday evening during the month of October, residents and visitors will be led on a tour of this historic little section of East Brunswick that was established in the late 1600s. And during the course of the last 400 years, that little village has played an important part of our township. But more than just history, there are also spiritual elements that remain in that little community. There are ghost stories, tales of murder, tales of missing individuals, and those will be just some of the highlights of the homes and the streetscapes that we'll be visiting. The tours begin at 7:30 each Saturday evening in October. The cost per person is $8, and it's stroller-friendly and wheelchair-friendly. A portion of the proceeds will benefit the Crandall-Kostman American Legion Post. The tours are held at 7:30 on every Saturday evening in October, meeting at the corner of Kostman Street and Old Bridge Turnpike. For more information, please look at East Brunswick Ghost Tour on Facebook. We hope to see you there and enjoy this unique slice of our town's amazing history. Thank you.
Welcome to East Brunswick Youth Council!
Youth Council is really awesome because it gives East Brunswick high school students a lot of different opportunities. I think the best thing about Youth Council is that you really get to interact with people who live in East Brunswick, and you can help them out with their events and their individual projects to make our community better as a whole.
Hi, I'm Bobby.
Hi, I'm Melissa,
and we're your new vice presidents.
And I'm Ivy, your new co-president.
Michelle! Fiona! Community Service Chair! Community Service Chair is important because we make events that help children have fun.
Hi, I'm Rebecca.
I'm Daisy.
I'm Dennis.
I'm Aditi.
I'm Leah.
And we're Best Buddies co-chairs. Best Buddies is a program that allows kids with special needs at the high school to interact and form friendships with their peers at the high school who are also youth council volunteers.
It's great for the buddies because they learn how to interact better in social situations, and it's great for the volunteers because you get to make new friends.
One of my favorite events from last year was probably Coffee House. Different performers from the high school share their special talents, whether it's singing or dancing, and they express themselves with buddies.
We also go on many trips such as the beach, boardwalk, and Crystal Springs where everyone can socialize and interact with others.
I personally love Best Buddies because it's allowed me to meet new people and make really great friendships, and it's opened my eyes to different types of people and new experiences.
So join Best Buddies!
Hi, my name is John, and I am the sports coordinator for East Brunswick Youth Council. My job as sports coordinator is to run and manage sporting activities for all of Youth Council members. East Brunswick Youth Council members have the unique opportunity to join many sporting events and small group activities. For example, last year we ran a 3v3 basketball tournament that was widely successful.
I'm Claire.
Hi, I'm Caitlin.
And we're the Environmental Chair. The Environmental Chair organizes many events that help benefiting the local environment and community at East Brunswick, and we have events such as beach sweeps.
We also can have talks such as bicentennial and headlining bombs.
Hi, my name is Sue, and I'm the fundraising chair. Last year we had a lot of success with the fundraising events such as the Applebee's Flapjack and Panera event. This year we also have a lot of events prepared, so come support us.
My favorite youth council event is the Frost Beach Bash because I know a lot of the kids that go to Frost since I work there. And seeing them helping out with really warms my heart, and it makes me realize what youth council is really about.
I'm Sophia. And I'm Lauren, and this is Stella. And our overall goal for youth advocating for animals is to let animals get better homes and let them live happier lives.
We plan to do this through pet adoptions,
reaching out to animal organizations that can help animals get food and vaccinations, and spreading awareness about animal abuse.
Hi, I'm Kayla. I am one of the drug prevention liaisons, and we work very closely with the East Brunswick Alliance Against Alcoholism and Drug Abuse to minimize the use of these substances in our area. Basically, we relay any important information regarding the youth to the Alliance and help to link the efforts of Youth Council and the Alliance.
Stay connected. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and follow us on Twitter. Yeah.
Welcome to this edition of Street Smart. I'm Patrolman Craig Hoover with the East Brunswick Police Department's Project 18 Community Policing Unit. The East Brunswick Police Department wanted to make residents aware of some of our new initiatives for 2016. In January of 2016, the department began a joint venture with our Opiate Outreach Initiative. Partnering with our local Municipal Drug Alliance, SOBA College Recovery, and PARI, the Police Assisted Addiction Recovery Initiative, we sought to address the population of residents battling opiate addiction. This program allows the police department to proactively reach out to residents or their families who are in need of advice or treatment so that may be put in touch with treatment centers or persons who can assist with addiction or dependency-related matters. This program runs through the department's Community Policing Unit and contacts residents whom are identified as being at risk through repetitive drug-related offenses, overdoses, or via officer referrals to the unit. In May, the police department also created a safe exchange zone to assist residents in conducting their online transactions deriving from sites such as Craigslist or eBay in the safe environment of a municipal court parking lot next to police headquarters. This site is under video surveillance by the police department, and proximity to police headquarters is meant to increase the public's peace of mind while engaging in such transactions with unfamiliar individuals. The Safe Exchange Zone is another way the police department is trying to keep the safety of the public in mind given the advances in technology and the internet. The designated Safe Exchange Zone will be available to the public from 8:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. 7 days a week in the municipal parking lot next to police headquarters. Coming up in the next few months, the police department will also be making some small changes to our website, which will enable residents to more easily notify the police department when they are planning to be away on vacation, when their house may be vacant for periods of time. And lastly, the police department is also expanding our Blue Angel program, which looks to encourage residents to download online applications to address personal needs regarding their household members related to developmental disabilities, seniors who suffer from dementia or Alzheimer's disease, or seniors who live alone and will require frequent welfare checks. Once the completed application is received, the information will be recorded with the department's 911 dispatch center in an effort to tailor our response capabilities to the residents or individual. The information provided will aid in officers tailoring their interactions between persons with a disability or by expediting the rendering of aid on welfare checks, thus reducing unneeded property damage by forcing entry into the residence. The Blue Angel program also runs in conjunction with our promotion of the use of autism wallet cards through www.justdigit.org. The purpose of the wallet cards is to help individuals identify themselves in the event of an encounter with the police or other first responders, and assist officers in understanding some of the challenges the person may display. The cards also include emergency contact information. Thank you for watching. I am Patrolman Craig Hoover with the East Brunswick Police Department's Community Policing Unit. Remember to be street smart.
Hi, I'm Melissa Hosick, and I invite you to attend one of our upcoming October events for adults at the East Brunswick Public Library. All are open to the public. On Sunday, October 9th at 1:30 p.m., enjoy a concert by 24 Harpers on their 24th annual Harpers Escape concert. On Tuesday, October 11th at 7 p.m., the World Party Short Story Discussion Group returns and will discuss The Third and Final Continent by Jhumpa Lahiri. Copies of stories are available at the information desk. On Wednesday, October 19th at 7 p.m., Frank Lee will lead you through 5,000 years of traditional Chinese culture and history using Shenyang performing arts and Chinese dance. To learn about our other upcoming events, such as film festivals, trivia nights, and more, visit ebpl.org/calendar or follow us on social media. We hope to see you in October.